I think I might have had the same screen. I'm going to keep reading though. I had to completely disassemble the base to get the screen hinges off, uh, to get off the front bezel because you can't get to the bottom bezel screws, which are blocked by the laptop base and hidden behind two small plastic glued on screw covers. The whole bezel was snapped in except for the two bottom corners near hinges. The keyboard was held on with one screw and some type of glue that was a pain to get released. I almost bent the keyboard trying to get it out. What I thought would be an easy screen pulled out to be a major easy screen pull turned out to be a major headache. I'm not going to take as much as I should for this deal for the work I've put into it, and that's only teardown. Since the girl said she only paid 199 for the $199 for the dang thing. Oh well, you win some, you lose some. At least I will have made her happy. I gotta say, I did a screen on, man, I don't know if it was CQ57, but it was a compact, and it was just like a all, man, it's like all one piece kind of
Oh,
computer.
yeah.
But I did have to take it all apart, and you could not get. And I don't remember the glue on the screws or the keyboard
Screws,
though on this
keyboard,
one.
yes.
Yeah, I don't remember that part, but yeah, it was more than I'd expected too. And then I charged her $100 total because and she was all bummed out about that. I'm like, well,
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, these things take,
she's like,
yeah,
it
I
only
know.
cost, and it was the same thing. It should only cost me
Uh,
$200 for the whole computer. Well,
I
yeah.
should give you a clue, you know. I mean, I had some Acers, a couple of these Acer computers I've been working on for some people. I mean, they're like, there seem to be like these newer, I guess they were Black Friday, I guess last year or whatever. There are some problems with them. I mean, the keyboard seemed to just stop working, like not just a plug. They just so the new keyboard's like $45 on, $45 for the new keyboard.
Oh, wow.
They're like, oh, that's a lot of money. I said, well, you want me to fix it? I said, or your other alternative is to plug another keyboard, plug like an external keyboard in and use that if you really want to. But I said the portability then is you have to bring a keyboard with you because like some of the keys work, some of them didn't work. Like it was like the whole QWERT. I think maybe the Q might have worked, but it was like random keys that didn't work on a couple of these Acer. I think it was something Acer Aspire C. No, I had a 5. I think I had a 7, and I forget what it was, but it was. It's interesting, definitely. Laptop
Yeah.
work is definitely hard. It's hard for me to do laptops, and my girlfriend helps out a lot with that. It's hard for me to do a lot of. I mean, I can do certain things, but taking some of I'm just afraid of like the small, getting my trying to get like probably some of the keyboards to get like the top part. You got to stick like a screwdriver in to get the the little even like the keyboard. I just don't like to. I don't want to put marks in anything or 'cause I'm more like dealing with desktops, but I'm getting more and more laptops is into the trend these days. So I mean, I can do some things. I can take the hard drives out and stuff like that, but that.
And some of them are getting tough. I know. I think it's a Dell that I come across every now and then. It's like all one piece of plastic on the bottom, and you have to take you gotta get under the keyboard to get to the hard drive on them sometimes too. Even though, yeah. Thanks for the email, Josh. And another thing you could tell them, well, why don't you just go to the store and just buy a whole other computer for? Oh, that's right. They're not $200 anymore. So I guess
Yeah,
you can't do that.
exactly. It's not Black Friday. I gotta wait. You want to wait another 9 months or whatever it is and get a computer or 8 months.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I guess I guess if they're gonna sell replacement parts for $45 a keyboard, they can sell them originally for 200 maybe. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
funny. Our next email is from maybe Dan. Yes, it is from Dan. It's from Dan. I don't know if I read this one before. I'm going to read it again anyway. I found your site a few days ago, and I'm really enjoying listening to the podcast. Oh, a new listener. Hi, Dan. I learned some new tricks and tips also. I'm currently listening to all of your podcasts to see if I can find the issue below. All right, here we go. Do you have a podcast that covers what techs do when they do a virus removal for a customer, and then a few days later, the customer brings back the computer and it's reinfected? I would like to know how others handle this. Do they recharge the customer? Also, I would like to know what other people do when they install a new hard drive on a computer and it fails less than a year. Um, do they charge the customer for a new hard drive and for the labor of reinstalling the operating system? These are issues I run into every once in a while and always wanted to know how others react to this. Well, I'll tell you mine first. On the virus, I would fix it again for free. But a lot of people are going to call me, too cheap and a lot of stuff like that. But that's all right. I really like to excel above and beyond because I don't want to be that computer tech or computer repair store that I just heard of today getting cussed at by this kid who brought me his computer because he's tired of them. Which there's two sides to every story, of course. And then the hard drive, if you put a new hard drive in it, all of them have at least a year warranty, and I would RMA that hard drive and I would replace it for free myself. And then, but honestly, I'd go buy a new hard drive, replace it, and then RMA it, take care of that myself on the back end, and just always have an extra hard drive laying around for when that one comes back. What do you think, Corey? How do you handle this stuff?
Yeah, well, what I do is I will like I said, I usually do make a backup of the system, and I would also, if they come back again, I mean, I have what I do is I have a document. I have 30 days from the time of when they brought me the computer. So if it gets infected again within 30 days, then I'm going to have to charge it for labor. And I do have the backup. Sometimes when I would do the backup, but if they came back like a day or a couple days later, I mean, I would kind of take a look quick and try to, of course you can't see everything, I have to delete this, but if I think for some reason that they did, infected, I mean, I might not say anything, but if it happened again, like if they came the first, like I wouldn't say anything. I mean, of course I'm 30 days, but I mean, if they kept coming back, a lot or made a big deal, I'd say, look, I think that something's going, I think that you're going somewhere or, something's happening. There's a couple, to get this infected, like if it's the same spyware, if they had programs on there that, I didn't have, if we were back on there, I'd say, you're installing XYZ, this program is known to do this, and just try to educate first. Maybe they don't know. But yeah, I believe like you too, I'm not really out to charge. I want to be different from the rest of the, we get kind of lumped into as I want to be that person that, gives people a fair chance. Maybe it's not them, maybe it's their kids, maybe it's somebody else. Or then sometimes I talk about making limited accounts. If it's somebody else that has kids, I say, well, maybe, might want to think of making a limited account and they're maybe installing these programs. We can set a policy, or we can, I have some people that even ask me about how to control, their kids' computers, or they have problems. So, we could always limited account. I mean, there's ways around everything, but I mean, limited accounts or things like that. And with the hard drive, I'm same as you. I would RMA that and deal with that. Deal with that on my own. I would deal with that too. RMA it back. And 1 year, I read an article on Maximum PC this month that said the 3-year warranty, most drives now, because of this whole Thailand incident, is going to be like 2 years, and even 1 for a lot of the newer drives that are coming out or are going to be coming out. So that's no more, even 3, and the 5-year for maybe some of the enterprise drives, or still might be 5, but I used to get like 3 on most hard drives. So they said now it's going to be like 2 and maybe even 1 for a lot of the US, the external drives.
Yeah, and I don't understand what changed. Why? I mean, did they rebuild their factory with lower specs than they had it the first time before the flood? Why would the warranties change? Or they were just weren't making money because they were RMAing so much, and now this way they have an excuse to stay on top of that a little bit. Honestly, when this lady brought her laptop in, it's been about 4 months ago, and she hit right when the prices just started to spike. And I almost wonder, did that one get rushed out the door, or did it sit in a warehouse for a couple days? Some, maybe in a bad environment because of something.
What's interesting?
I just kind of thought maybe something like that when she brought it back so fast.
I've read a couple things though, actually, since that hard drives, that people have had more returns, more. I mean, I have a couple. I still have some drives that I had later. I've been selling. I had a bunch of 2 TB drives and 1 TBs and some 500s. But I've read a couple things on some forums that people have said that the drives seem, from the last couple of months, seem to be more prone to errors and, more prone to just dying. Just, one day they work, no click, nothing, just, it worked. Then I went to, woke up the next morning, turned on my computer, or, so I don't know if they're making them cheaper or what they're doing. I mean,
that what you just said, Corey, totally describes this lady's hard drive. It's just one day. It's like bam, and it's not clicking or nothing. Her old one was definitely clicking, and then it won't pass a self test. But I don't know. It's just kind of odd. Maybe, and I hope that's not the trend. Otherwise it's going to push us all. Not that it's a bad thing to push us all to solid state, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, but then people are going to want all the space and, but I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely something to look into. I mean, it's so weird, man, because I have some old spare drives, like old Western Digital SATA, like, I don't know, 320 gig drives. I mean, I've had these drives forever and they like keep on working. I still think, I mean, I know it might be crazy, but I still think like the bigger the drives, I mean, with the whole platter size and everything else, I think they're just trying to shove more and more on these things. And, I don't know if it's, any real credence to that, but I still think that the quality is probably going to suffer. I hope not, but who knows?
Yeah. Like there's a point that you can, that you just get too much in there and it's just, you can't do it anymore, huh? Hey, Steve, are you hanging out with us right now? Yeah, Steve said there was 4 mail emails. I only see 3 here. If anybody else wants to get there, and we can read the next one, the other one next week. That's fine, unless Steve wants to bring it right now.
I'm here now.
Steve, I never did get the 4th mail. Did you want to read that one?
Hang on a second.
I looked in my spam folder and still didn't see it.
No, don't worry about it. We're good.
Okay, and then the phone number of we haven't been getting any call-ins for the email. If anybody wants to call in and just say it instead of typing out an email to us, call in. What's the number, Steve? I don't have it in front of me right now.
7076 Podnut. And Eric, You're fired.
So I just couldn't remember I remember the last part. 7076 Podnut. Call in, leave a voicemail. And then we will play that on the air and answer your question, just like we did with these 3 emails. And then if you want to do an email, it's mail@podnutz.com. Did I get that one right?
Yes.
Do I get a little redemption?
Yes.
At all? And then also, as Corey and I were mentioning earlier, if you go to podnutz.com/deals, you can get your items at Amazon and Newegg and help out the show just by buying. You don't pay any extra or nothing. There's nothing tacked on, but just by you going to Amazon and Newegg through there, when you buy it, it donates to the show, and it's just easy and there's nothing to it. Save them in your favorites bar or whatever. And then also there's while you're there, check out all these things that the first email was talking about, the laptop repair videos and tech site builder. Get your, if you want to start fixing more than just your aunt's computer, throw up a quick website, see what happens. You might have a better website than everybody else in your town, and they'll start calling you. It's neat. And that's kind of how it's kind of happened here, personally. Corey, do you have anything else you wanted to say, or how can people get a hold of you if they have questions, just especially for you?
Yeah, if you want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me. Twitter, it's at PORTCOREY or COREY, T as in Thomas, K as in Kilo @gmail.com. Or my website, it's like a 1997-ish website, but it's CoreyTheRipper.com, has my little contact form on there. So if you want to send me an email there, that works too.
Steve, did you have anything else you wanted to bring up tonight?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for listening to Podnutz Daily, episode 345. We will see you next week with another tech, and we'll learn some more techs, tips, and tricks.